This summer feels different. If you've been paying attention, you can probably feel it already. This summer doesn't look like the ones before. It's quieter, more intentional, and somehow more refined without trying too hard. And if you're wondering why your usual summer outfits suddenly feel a little off, it's because the role of the top has completely changed. In 2026, it's no longer just something you throw on. It's the piece that defines how everything else comes together. Elevated BASICS, you'll keep reaching FOR. You know those tops you used to call just basic? This year, they're the ones doing all the work, but not in the way you expect. The fit is sharper, the neckline feels more intentional, and the fabric falls exactly where it should without needing adjustment. What you'll notice is how easy they feel. You don't have to think about styling too much. You put it on and somehow everything already looks balanced. That's not accidental, that's design becoming invisible. And once you start wearing pieces like this, it becomes hard to go back. Because suddenly, simplicity doesn't feel plain anymore, it feels precise. Linen that actually works for you. You've probably worn linen before and maybe you loved it, maybe you didn't. Too wrinkled, too casual, too holiday only. But in 2026, linen changes in a way you can actually feel the moment you wear it. It's softer, more fluid, and holds its shape better throughout the day. You're not constantly adjusting it, and it doesn't look messy after a few hours. It moves with you instead of working against you. So instead of saving linen for certain occasions, you'll start reaching for it more often. Not because it's trendy, but because it simply makes sense. Relaxed shapes that still look put together. There's something very specific happening with silhouettes this year. Things are getting looser, but not careless. You'll notice tops that feel slightly oversized, but still structured enough to keep your overall look clean. When you wear them, you don't feel restricted. There's space, there's airflow, there's movement. But at the same time, you still look composed, like everything is exactly where it should be. And that balance is what makes it powerful, because it gives you comfort without sacrificing presence. SOFTER, more natural femininity. If you've ever felt like feminine fashion was too much, too detailed, too styled, you'll probably notice how different it feels now. In 2026, femininity becomes quieter, more natural, and much easier to wear. You'll see softer drapes, gentle shapes, and fabrics that follow your movement instead of forcing a silhouette. Nothing feels stiff or overly designed. And the result is subtle but impactful. You don't feel like you're trying to look elegant, you just are. Cropped but finely wearable. Let's be honest, cropped tops haven't always been the easiest to wear. Sometimes they feel too short, too styled, or just not practical for everyday life. But this year, the proportions change. Cropped doesn't mean cut off, it means balanced. The length works naturally with high-waisted pieces, so everything aligns without effort. So instead of avoiding it, you might actually start considering it. Because now it doesn't feel like a statement, it just feels right. When texture does all the talking. You might notice that colors feel a little quieter this summer. And that's because the focus shifts somewhere else: texture. When you wear these pieces, you start to see the difference up close. Ribbed surfaces, soft shears, subtle creases, details that don't scream but still create depth. And interestingly, people notice. Not because it's loud, but because it feels refined in a way that's hard to explain but easy to see. The shirt you wear differently now. You already have a shirt in your wardrobe, maybe more than one. But the way you wear it this year will feel completely different. Instead of buttoned up and structured, it becomes lighter, more relaxed, more adaptable. Slightly open, loosely styled, sometimes layered without even thinking about it. And that's what makes it interesting again. Not because it's new, but because you start seeing new ways to wear something you already own. This time, ITS about how it feels. So when you look at summer 2026, it's not really about trends you need to chase. It's about noticing what feels right on your body, in your movement, and in your daily life. The tops you'll end up loving aren't the most complicated ones. They're the ones that make everything feel easier the moment you put them on. And maybe that's the real shift this season: not dressing to impress, but dressing to feel completely at ease.